Yeah.
It's been a week, man. It seemed like it's been a month.
Yeah, it has seemed like a long time.
God, dog, boy, yeah, man. I find the word is real, bro. I gotta get this in my. I need this. I need to sit back and listen to the bros.
Hey, shout out to y'all. Happy first of the month, man. By the way.
Yeah, happy first of the month, man. Payday.
It's the first of the month.
Wake up, wake up.
Yeah, man. So
Get your checks and come up.
For real. I need that check to come up for real.
say,
Yo,
hey,
Oh, man.
yeah, definitely a grind. Definitely a grind, man. What's up, fellas?
man.
We're chilling right here. This. I'm telling you, man, that dude, these Joneses just get you depressed sometimes, dog. I'm trying to tell you, bro,
Don't
they
they?
get you depressed. They get you depressed,
they?
like they get you depressed, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I can feel it in the atmosphere too, man. It's a
They depressing us, bro.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
it's almost like I don't see. I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't seen a. You know how we talk about Cowboys. We see Cowboys. We you know we do, but it just feels like this year since I've been doing this stuff, just seems like this year is like a lot of people not going hard with the Cowboys. Like even
no.
you know like with the backing, it's just like everybody's like this last season, dog. It really took a lot of everybody. This past season right here, it took a lot out of everybody. It really, really did. A lot of people were like, hold up. We ain't gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, that's a real observation, bro. Like the wind has been taken out of Cowboy Nation.
It has.
You can't run them same old games you've been running, bro. Like
No,
we see
you
right
can't.
through too. Like it's just you can't do that. Like it ain't working this year, bro. Like
It's not.
we all too gamed up. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah. We too much
I
into
feel
it.
Yep. Yeah, and I
You
feel
feel me?
Yep.
Because too many people are like, you know what? We're not listening to that mumbo jumbo in these interviews no more. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Before you be like, but nobody listen to that mumbo jumbo. Now people are analyzing every word you say in them interviews because they're like, we had it. And especially when you got a coach up there at the combine and he's answering questions about Sean Payton. I would get tired of that, bro. Like, I don't want to answer those about no Sean Payton no more. Don't ask me about that shit. That's why you see McCarthy getting that frustrated because he's like, dude, are we going to talk about this football or are we going to talk about a dude that ain't here? I'm a coach.
Yeah, I'm the coach. Yeah. I mean, he should say, man,
he's a
what
lame
made you fix
coach.
your mouth to ask me about that? You know, he should have said something like that. That's what Parcells would say. Hey, why you asking dumb questions? You know, what made you fix your mouth to ask me about that?
But you know the
I'm
same
the
thing,
one
Big Bro Law. Big Bro Law. This the thing that's sad is that distraction is self-inflicted again.
Right.
I was watching
They
one of those videos that you put out. We might hold on. We gonna start the show. Hold on, let's go. Bro, I'm telling you, we'll go all day.
The intro was good. The lobby area, man.
Man, it's the lobby area, man. This the green room. This the green room. This the green room. But
Y'all
man,
get in the building.
Yeah.
Boss Cowboys Sports.
Post anything on there.
Law Nation. Big Game James. Y'all get in the building. It's the final word. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm to do that. Don't be talking about it.
Cheeto.
Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
That's what we want to do.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives.
Yeah, they already throwing the flames in us, man.
I mean, you got to throw the flames. What's up, Aaron?
Fire. Yoga.
Jay Lombardi, P Smooth TV, Isaac Hampton, everybody in the building. What's up?
Yeah, man. We see y'all in the building, man. Coming all in. I see it, man. Boys showing up, talking about let's get it. Throw it.
Yeah.
You see it. Throw the flames up.
Yoga. Fire. Yoga. Flames.
You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
Search for the one, but baby girl, there's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep it.
Yeah, you see it, Will Black. I mean, we feeling it.
Combine week. Yeah, it is, Terrence. Yeah, that's something positive to talk about.
Yeah, we can
Combine
be
week.
positive.
Yeah.
We gonna be positive.
Yeah. I'm not.
I'm gonna just say what
being
we
positive.
gotta say, man. You know, we
Not
go
positive.
Yoga. Fire. Yoga. Flame.
All right, man.
I am not.
Oh my God.
Well, you already.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big game change.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
It's the game change up in here, man.
Oh my goodness.
Starting it off,
homeboy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start it off with Baby Nuts Jones. I mean, Baby Nuts Jones. I mean, you Baby Nuts, bro. You are Baby Nuts, and just listening to your interview the other day just made me just more mad at you. I don't want to be mad at you. I really don't. But when I just listen to you, you lie through your teeth. You frustrate me, and I just feel like you just be the same old lies. And once again, I feel like it's brand over football. That's the thing, because you know what? When the first question they asked him, they said, "Man, you here at the combine? How you feel?" "Oh, we feeling good because you know what? We might get, obviously, the combine's here in Indianapolis. Obviously, it's here in Indianapolis, but it could be somewhere else. And, us here in Dallas, we would love to have that here. We love to be at the forefront of that and getting the NFL combine here. And whether it be Frisco, whether it be this, we are really striveful and prideful to try to get that." Yeah, that's the first thing, what I'm saying? He asked about no players. Right. He ain't talking about no players. He said getting that joker to the Cowboys, getting it to Dallas. That's what we want. And so, once again, it's just that brand stuff. I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot of stuff in the end of what Baby Nuts. You just dropped that excellent video you did, boss. But like I said, man, it's just really the same old thing, same old talk. And while we were talking before the show came on, I just really feel like this past season, a lot of people still listen to it and still have optimism. But this past season, really, I feel drained a lot of Cowboys fans. Yep. A lot of Cowboys media, Cowboys in general. It's just a lot of people this season right here. I don't know what it is about this season, but I felt like a lot of people really believed in this season. I did. I drank the Kool-Aid, and I kept on saying we'll see at the beginning of the year. And just left a lot of bad taste in our mouth. And then when you talk about doing the same thing, what you do with all the players, with Coop and those things, just makes you say, like, bro, you just a straight liar, and I ain't believing that crap no more.
Yeah, man. Because I got the interview. It's already queued up. And I saved it for you guys. You know what I mean? Because I did, obviously, a video on a little piece of it. But I'm going to go through most of the high points with you guys, and we never talk. So, obviously, this is truly spontaneous. We're going to be able to kind of see everybody fresh perspective on it, because we intentionally don't talk into the show to where it's true. It's truly spontaneous. Like, we don't do a lot of talking behind the scenes to keep everything real and raw. Let's first start with you, Law. I think I want to go with you real quick with one of your what was posted on your YouTube. We go kind of go in order. Let's talk about Dak Prescott's shoulder and his surgery, if you don't mind. And then we'll just go through Steven's interview and then just tackle whatever topic after that. But y'all want to kick this off to you too, man, on that cleanup surgery. What's your thoughts?
Well, I do know that everybody plays through injuries, right? Right. But from my understanding is that when that injury first or initially happened, don't they supposed to put players on the injury report? I could be 1,000% wrong, but it just gives me those vibes of like, hey man, what are y'all trying to uncover here? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure this thing out, man. I hope all is well with Dak Prescott. I hope all was well with Ezekiel Elliott. But these type of things pop up and show up at the weirdest time. But I know it's cleanup surgery. Everybody's knick-knacked. And I seen Blake Jarwin on that report. I seen Chauncey Golston, as well as some other players. I think Donovan Wilson going to have cleanup surgery. So it's, to me, at this point, it's much to do about nothing. But I would have loved to know when that injury occurred.
Right. When did that injury occur? Because this is surgery. Right. This is not rehab. This was surgery. That means you had an issue at some point. What's your thoughts on that? We'll go with you, OC, real quick.
Yeah, man. I think that, teams hide injuries, and I don't think that's uncommon. I think that it's just an indication that Dak Prescott was playing through a little bit more than meets the eye. And, you know, anytime you have a cleanup surgery, right? I had a cleanup surgery after a season in college, and they cleaned up some cartilage out of my left knee. You know what I'm saying? So what's the extent of that? What I do know is this, is that the longer you play with a soft tissue injury, the more cartilage damage it is. The Cowboys, of course, will underreport this, not to cause the scare in the fan base and more questions. And we know that based upon history. So my question is that, you know, hopefully Dak is fine. Dak's a soldier. You know, he got tons of time to rehab. But what was the extent of it? And how much cartilage did they mess with in that throwing shoulder would be a question for me. Inquiring minds really want to know.
It wasn't his throwing shoulder.
There was the other shoulder. Okay,
yeah,
I thought it was the throwing shoulder. Okay, if it's a non-throwing shoulder, thank you for the correction.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a non-throwing shoulder, then to me that's of less consequence. Thanks for the correction. I thought it was his throwing shoulder, but I mean, hey man, he played through something. He cleans up some cartilage, man. It is what it is. He got time to come back and rehab, so it is what it is.
Right. You know, another thing for James, big game James, appreciate you, man. Let me jump right in right quick.
It ain't like you asked him, y'all. It ain't like you asked him.
Hey, but Randy Gregory having cleanup surgery too, and this is a big question mark here because we did know of a certain player by the name of Tank who said, you know what, I'm not finna do none of this surgery stuff until I get a major deal. So is this like foreshadowing to you guys, my boys over here? Is this foreshadowing that the Cowboys are going to go ahead and sign him? Or, big game James, I'm gonna put this question on you. Is Randy Gregory is trying to do like our dog Anthony White did? You know, go ahead and get all of those surgeries before he go.
I think it might be the latter. I mean, I think he will want to get prepared for the surgery. Hey, you don't get me, somebody else is gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Randy Gregory is gonna come back. The main reason why I feel like he would come back, number one, is just because that time Cowboys don't like putting all that investment in somebody like that and then let him walk. So that's why I think it would. That's why I see him coming back, in my opinion. But as far as that shoulder surgery thing, I'm gonna bounce off what OC said. More lies. Y'all scary. And that's why I call you baby nuts, because you scared what people gonna say. Oh, don't let nobody know Dak's shoulder hurt, because we can't have that. We can't have nothing like that. We can't have the fans going crazy. We can't have no fear, no panic. So let's just be quiet and don't say nothing about it. We don't want to hear no noise. See, y'all scary, bro. And that baby nuts, you one of the scariest, because see, you were being conservative. When I hear that cap and all that stuff, conservative don't win. Conservative keep you competitive, but conservative won't get you over the hump. But I guess you like that. So that's my thoughts about that.
Perfect, because see, that segue perfect. Here we go. Watch this. Hold on real quick. I thought I segued that perfect. How about imperfect? What was you saying, Big?
See?
No, here it is.
Where you might be looking to improve this offseason? Does the draft a more logical avenue, given where you guys are financially?
In general, yeah. From a money standpoint, if I'm looking into a crystal ball right now, I see most of our money that would go toward free agency going to our current players. Now, it doesn't mean that won't change, that we don't come across a value on a player that we said, hey, it's just one we got to take. So I don't want to rule it out. But in general, it'll go to our players, and then we have to be efficient in the draft in terms of improving the team.
Where you might be looking.
So we
have to be efficient in the draft.
And then he talking about, and I'm gonna play a couple of them, and then we go put it together. So he said in his crystal ball.
Who got the picture?
He said in his crystal ball, I can see both of our money in free agency going to our current players. So going to Law's point, he talked about the future of potentially Randy Gregory. When he let out that hint, that then gave me like, okay, you looking at potentially cutting players to pay your own players. Right. So my first question would be from the free agent list, because he said from his crystal ball, if he could assume what he wants to do, he said that it would go to paying his own players. Who would that be?
I would say the first one on this list, in my opinion, it have to be Randy Gregory. That's the first one, I believe. Like Big Game James said, they developed him. From a mental aspect of it, they coddled him like Big Game James used to say in the past. They coddled him, and they did another player like that, and it was an eye shocker for us, man. An eye opener last season when they cut Jalen Smith. I would never think that the Cowboys would fall on the sword and eat money, and it's like $6 or $7 million worth of dead money. But I do know that Favors in the office right now. They're talking about Jaron Kearse and Dalton Schultz. So those three right there would be the creme de la creme out of this entire list. Outside of course, the punt kicker as well.
You know what though, boss? You know what I heard in that conversation? I heard him say all that, but then I heard him say we must be efficient in the draft. So that told me we're not getting no free agents. Once again,
we ain't getting no free agents.
Why do we even talk about free agency anymore? I don't even understand why we even talk about that subject of free agency any longer. He said it years ago, and he's staying true to it. He is staying 100% true to what he said. He said, we ain't going out there and spending no money on them no more. We ain't doing it. We're going to sign on. So just like what you just said, Law, those few people he was angling, but as he said, they ain't touching free agents out there. That's why when we say, damn, Dallas is drafting good, they got to. They have to draft good. They must draft good, because if they don't, Dallas would be losers.
Facts.
But this is one of the things that John Stephen Jones said. I'm messing up the man's name. He did say one time
you can call him Baby Nuts if you want to.
I think another name. Somebody coined the phrase "Cat Boy." Every time I go live, I see
that's Mike. That's my boy Mike. He calls him Cat Boy. I like that name. Cat Boy.
I call him Cat Boy. I said,
that's my
who is
Mike.
Cat Boy? And it's like, no, it's Cat Boy.
I love when he calls him Cat Boy.
But shout out to Mike, man. Mike coined that phrase "Cap Boy," and he did say in the past that we did make a lot of movements in free agents, and he was saying sarcastically that, hey, I made the movements of signing our own guys. And if that's the case in the scenario, sometimes as Cowboy fans, we do look for those guys that he can bring along, like a KZ or a Hooker, that they bring to the table. That I ain't mad at it. Even Jaron Kearse, cool. You was right on the money with that video, boss.
Appreciate it.
I'm looking at a guy by the name of OJ. I saw his market value is like $2 million. I wouldn't mind bringing it.
If it's $2 million, we got a deal. We got a deal.
Bring OJ
it got to be.
Tell him
it
to
got to
leave
be
the
under
knife.
$6 million. It got to be under $6 million.
OJ, leave the knife. Bring OJ
gotta be
in
but
and
$6
let this
million.
thing go. Yeah.
It can't be over $6 million though. Can't be over $6 million.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, OJ is nice, man, and I'm really on the favor of what Boss Cowboy did. If you go and check out the tight end breakdown we did about the value of some of these tight ends, I mean, man, I'm not in favor of paying big money for Schultz. I'm 100% on that train. Okay, because there are several tight ends out there, man. You got the Falcons tight end, you got Cleveland Browns tight end. I forget his name. You got OJ. I mean, you got guys that can block. Yeah, Joko. And Joko. Yeah,
valuable.
You got guys out there that you can get for $3 million or under per year, right? That you could bring in that can catch the football, that are faster than Schultz, that can run routes, and they can block. So it's like, why in the world would you pay?
Yeah. Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Let me tell you.
But he's not.
But they got that kid.
We like our guys.
Preachers. He got the Sean McKeon.
Preachers, I got something for y'all. That's gonna lay this up. All right, because I know y'all some preachers, man. Golly. With one mic, it never works. Here we go. Check this out.
How much you liked your roster this past year, that you guys can have just the roster?
Yeah, I think, obviously we'll have to make some tough decisions. And, I mean, all the players that we have up for contract, we'd like to keep them all. But, the salary cap's a real thing. And certainly as we move forward and you have a quarterback and every team experiences that has a.
That get on my nerves. He be blaming Dak for his mismanagement.
I told you.
Act like you owe.
I told y'all.
He made me sick.
I told you, boss.
That's so weak. That's such a weak cop out, man.
Bro,
repeat that.
I try to tell y'all. I
Repeat it
try to tell y'all, dog. I try to
Every
tell
time he
you
do
with that, though,
you the
boss.
one that ran up his price, Steven.
You feel me?
You the
But that's
one
what
that
I'm
ran up his
saying.
price.
I'm trying to tell you, Steven wasn't on Dak like that. I'm telling you, Steven was never on Dak like that. He wasn't. And he'll say, well, we got a franchise quarterback, but we paid him all that money. And since we paid him all that money, it's going to be hard.
Bro, that's
money.
disgusting. That's disgusting how he throws
He
on
killed me
people
with
under
that.
the bus, bro.
He always saying it. He
Check
always
this out.
saying it about Dak.
Always. Here we go. Check this out.
Franchise quarterback that they now paid him their second contract, and we just have to make some decisions and some tough ones. But I think the ones, unfortunately, if we lose a couple of good players, and hopefully we'll lose a couple of good players, and hopefully we'll continue to do a good job. We lose a couple of good players, and hopefully we'll continue to do a good job with our drafting process, and then look for value in free agency so we can draft the way we've historically drafted, which is not on a need basis, but on a best player available basis.
You ain't draft no best player available base. You did it 1 year. Look at that face. Pose it right there. I'd have slapped you in your face.
Let me go back to the face.
You liar. Oh, you know about us. We all about BPA. No, you ain't. Shut up.
Just the roster.
I could get to the face. Dang it.
It was right at the end when he
Shout
froze
out to you,
that.
Ken Art, for the donation. Appreciate you, man.
The face right there.
There it is, right there. There it is. Yeah. Get that picture. Get that picture. Get that picture. I'm screenshotting that. I'm screenshotting that too. I'm screenshotting that.
Oh, let me screenshot.
Don't move it yet, boss. I'm screenshotting
Hey,
it. Hold on. Don't move it yet, boss.
Hey, but listen, man. Listen, let's put both of those thoughts together. Because I keyed in on that too, what you heard, that two, right? We might lose us a couple. So when we put both of those videos together, he was saying in his crystal ball, he can see him cutting a couple of players to pay some of our own guys. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if they cut Cooper and keep Schultz,
Boy, we already know what it is.
And he sound like a sulky guy that had a bestie that he likes. I'm one of my favorite guys. We may have to let go of one of my favorite guys personally, right? It's not on business, right? This is that personal tone to his voice, right? One of my favorite guys like Schultz because we paid this boy Dak Prescott all this money, and oh my God, he got a second contract. It's like, come on, man. I mean, the Bills paid the guy $250 million, man. I mean, just Josh Allen, man. That's like, come on, man. Just stop crying and acting like you can't manipulate the salary cap because the salary cap is something that can be manipulated. And proof positive of somebody that continues to manipulate it is the person that won the Super Bowl this year, the LA Rams. They continue to manipulate, move, maneuver, restructure contracts. If you're creative and you're smart and you got a good bookkeeper, you can manipulate the salary cap all day long. So it's a real thing, but it's a thing that can be controlled by some minutia details and manipulation.
Man,
hey, boss.
Straight
hey, boss.
Straight business,
boss.
1 second.
That was
The OC.
Oh, yeah.
No emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Yeah, that was straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
Hashtag straight up business. Go ahead, big game.
Boss.
Yo,
who was the main person that when Ezekiel Elliott, and he said it here again, who was the main person that was saying, Ezekiel, who straws the drink?
Oh, that was Jerry.
Was that Jerry or was that Steven? I heard Steven say Ezekiel Elliott straws the drink.
No, it was Jerry.
No, that was Steven too.
I think originally it was Steven Jones.
Originally it was Steven.
Oh,
it was Steven originally. It was originally Steven because I heard him say it multiple times. So here's my thing. Go ahead and look about what he said about Ezekiel Elliott. Now, you heard how he was, we had to pay Dak a second contract. When you sign a franchise. But when it came up to Ezekiel Elliott, I just love Ezekiel Elliott. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. I'll go with him any day, especially playing through injury and everything. Obviously, his money is guaranteed, so he gonna be back with us. Wasn't nobody talking about no money, but you brought it up again. We paid him all that money, so when we worried about Why was Ezekiel Elliott, when they asked that question to Mike McCarthy, why wasn't Tony Pollard getting them touches? Well, and then I heard Cole Beasley say a long time ago, the front office dictates who gets the ball.
Yeah.
Then I hear Stephen Jones just say, I just love me some Ezekiel Elliott. And when that contract was coming up, when he was getting ready to sit out and Dak and them were both kind of getting ready to be up, he wasn't saying them glowingly things about Dak. All he did was cry about Dak. I don't want to pay him. I don't want to pay him. They weren't crying about Ezekiel Elliott. They were saying he's the one that ran that offense. He was the one that did that. That's why I said I don't know if Stephen Jones believed in Dak Prescott like that, because he still complained about Dak. But when I hear him about Ezekiel Elliott, he give nothing but glowing
God,
reviews.
that boy, man, you be keeping it, man. I need another button for you, man. That game changer not enough no more, bro. I got to get you a new button, dog. I'm gonna hit it anyway.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy.
Big Game James.
Game changer.
Man,
That's right on the money, man. Big Game James, and you spitting right the truth. 2016 to me, just to me, Ezekiel Elliott, the best player on this team. 17, we saw how the NFL ripped his nuts off of him. And, in 17, they just ripped him off. And then he'd never been the happy-go-lucky Ezekiel Elliott. But one can argue in 18, the Cowboys were 3-5, right? 2018, can anybody remember? The Cowboys were 3-5 with Ezekiel Elliott, with Dak Prescott, until they went and got Amari Cooper. Let's talk about that system. Let's talk about that thing that you guys were talking about before we went live.
Man, you ready to talk about
that's the one. That's the one. That's the igniter.
Y'all
you let
go
that
to
one
the
off. That's
system
the fuse.
Can I build up?
Man, let's
to it?
go.
That's the last
Go
one
right
on the
there, because he
agenda.
ran.
You want it
He
now?
ran.
You want the system?
I want it now. But one thing I can say that before we get into this conversation. One thing I can say before we get into the conversation. I stand firm where I believe Ezekiel Elliott, the better player, 2016, 17, and then 18. But 2019, the universe and everything, somewhere part of 18 too. Everything opened up for Dak Prescott. He started to see things different. Teams started to play him different. And not until just last season, teams said, you know what? Bump it. Stop being 9 or 8 men in the box. Shoot, we're going to drop 6 or 7 DBs. This team don't know how to beat that because they can't run the ball. And it's nothing to do to sully or denigrate Ezekiel Elliott, but by him playing with that PCL tear and knowing that Tony Pollard, if he got some touches out there to shine, Ezekiel Elliott said, I ain't going to let nobody get in my way. No, not nobody get my shine. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man. Let me save that talk because that's our next one. Because I want to get to this one, and then we gonna handle exactly what you want to talk about, Law. I ain't gonna leave you hanging on that big dog.
Okay, don't let.
I got you, bro. I promise. I got you. That's in the queue. I promise you. So check this out.
Let's go.
This is another topic that's gonna get us going. I'm certain. I want to start this off though. All right, here we go.
We're going to have to be efficient in free agency, and we're going to have to be efficient in the draft.
So there's nothing with the Rams winning the Super Bowl, doing it the way they did it, that changes your guys' perspective on any of that stuff?
There's a lot of different ways to do things, and certainly hats off to them. I mean, they had a hell of a year and win a Super Bowl, and certainly, they went about it in a way that's pushing a lot of chips out there. So, there's some forms of all this, that we'll probably decide where we want to be. Feel like we've got a lot of good young players on this football team, and you don't want to just be starting over, if you will, if we did too much, because you can obviously, we could do some things that would allow us to keep most of our guys if we wanted to push it all out, but then we'll have a much bigger problem, next year and the year after that.
All right, let me start this off because I already know y'all gonna cut his head off.
Just shut the hell up.
I knew it, D-boys.
Just shut the hell up.
I did want to say one thing though. In terms of team building, I'm cool with how they do it. Value free agents and all that. I'm being all the way honest to Law's point. I'm not mad at Hooker. I'm not mad at Curse. I'm not mad at Kazi. I'm not mad at Cobb when we brought him in. I'm not mad at all the value free agents that we do and then draft well. I like that. What I don't like is the management when they get here. I don't like how they meddle. Like how you get what you want and you finally get Amari Cooper, but then you under target him. See, you meddling. See, it was cool that you got him, but you didn't treat him right when you got him. You know what I'm saying? And it's too much of that. See, because I see the fans, they want us to go all in. I actually don't. I don't want us to be the Tyrann Mathieu guy. I ain't never do a video on that, and I never will, because I ain't trying to buy no top-notch safeties when you can get the same type or maybe just a little bit under him for $5 million. Why would I pay $11 million when I can get a curse for $5 million? Like, why would I do that? You see what I'm saying? So I wanted to be clear on that and balance and, you know, the measure Kool-Aid.
It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink.
So I want to get y'all thoughts on that, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
and so Boss Cowboy, I'm gonna jump in on this one real quick. Just real quick. Yeah. You know, I'm not opposed to the build through the draft philosophy. It's worked very well for the Cowboys. I'm not opposed to being smart and getting value free agents, because this year in particular, it's worked pretty well for the Cowboys. So historically, over the last, I would say, couple years, they've made really, really good personnel decisions and they draft well. So that's not in reference of what I'm about to say. The problem that I don't like, that I hear in his voice, is I hear fear. I hear fear of loss. I sense fear of loss, and I sense an inability to gamble when it makes sense, because I'm afraid of being irrelevant and hurting my brand for a couple years. You see, the Rams, the Super Bowl champions, right? They went in with a calculated risk, understanding that if this didn't work out, we're going to have to reshuffle things and still be semi-relevant, but we might not get to the dance. I don't hear an entrepreneur. I hear an accountant. And that's the problem that I have with the statement that I heard. I don't hear a guy that's willing to take big risks for a big reward, which is what's going to get us to 6. It's not just great management. It's also calculated and in some places, big risk. That's the part I don't like about that interview.
The OC.
No emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Bro, that was good. That was good right there,
bro.
Fatality.
Especially that accountant thing. That accountant thing was real.
God,
that accountant thing was really real. I mean, just bouncing off of OC with that, I feel everything what OC just said it. But like I said, when you're conservative, I said scary. You're conservative.
Yep.
You'll be in the mix. When you're conservative, you'll be competitive. You'll compete, but you won't get over the hump. And as I said, the Cowboys still want to stay relevant every single year, and that's what he's going to do. And just like what OC said, when he asked that question, he was almost like, was stuttering. Like, well, I mean, that's the way they did it over there. But I mean, we ain't going out there and doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Because if we do all that and we don't win, then we're going to be crushed and not be winning. No, and I also heard no trust, not just fear, conservative. I don't trust. I don't trust they're going to really get the job done. So we're going to keep doing it this way and just hopefully it works. It's almost like we're going to do it this way and we just hope this way works.
No doubt.
And the reason why you don't trust, and the reason why you don't trust, sorry, Law, I'm going to be done in a second, it's because you don't trust yourself. See, you go on ratios and percentages when you doubt your own ability to make great decisions. So what you do is you leave yourself a buffer. You leave yourself a buffer of error, thus preventing yourself from always going all in and being fully committed. You go in 80% because you don't fully trust yourself and your own decision-making ability. That's the issue. Go ahead, Law. I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on. Well, let me jump in real quick, Law, because I do have a theory. And then sum me up if you think I'm crazy on this. From a business standpoint, I can kind of see where Stephen Jones would be afraid. And I'm going to say why. Because if he go all in and then we do struggle, especially with cap issues, and I don't believe his cap
on him.
I don't believe it. But I'm just saying, if it was some struggle and hard decisions that had to be made because of cap management going all in, I think the Cowboys really don't care if we win. I think they just want us good enough to be competitive and interested. You know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint on business, that's why he's scared. That was my thoughts on that, Law.
No, you're right on that. And when the OC brought up the point that is not an entrepreneur, that's an accountant, I can see what he's saying. Jerry Jones was the quote-unquote entrepreneur mindset of it because he used all of his money to get there. You see, John Stephen Jones, the son, he benefited for being just the son. He's no different than us that's right here on this panel. He was just born within the family, the bloodline. So it's not like he got sweat equity out there. He was given a position, not like he got this chance and opportunity off of his pure brain knowledge of the situation. But let's fast forward to right now, to the moment. The Dallas Cowboys not willing to take that risk now. I come here to tell y'all, the Rams are not light years ahead of us. Y'all can call me crazy. The Rams are not light years ahead of us. They didn't do things that like we can say, oh, wow. I can argue that if Sean McVay was the coach here, we pick up Mike McCarthy and you sling him up over there, it could be just that us would have been lifted the Lombardi Trophy. And if you're going to build through the draft, I think I got this from you, the OC. If you're going to build through the draft, damn it, you better have good coaching to educate, to elevate, to train these young bulls to play this game in duty and life. And one of the two things that Mike McCarthy said in the presser that kind of blew my mind, he said, we're going to focus on two things during this offseason. One being on penalties, the other one being on, believe it or not, going through adversity. I'm sitting like, boy, sugar, how you going to focus on penalties during the offseason? That's foolish talk. You can only focus that in on the game, man. It's just crazy. It just don't make sense. So when Big Game James talk about low vibration, I'm sitting there like, come on.
Right, during the off season. During the off season. You got your coach saying that. You got your coach saying that. You know what I mean? You got your coach saying we're gonna focus on penalties. How the hell are you supposed to clean up penalties and it's March?
In the off season.
It's March. It's March. How you clean up penalties in March? Y'all sound goofy.
Have you ever?
That's why people looking at you like you dumb.
Have you guys ever watched this dude that go and watch the 600-pound? My documentary is a commentary. A dude that go over the commentary, and when he see the lady that getting fed all of the food, and he said, "Enough, enough. She don't need to eat no more." Cowboys, come on, enough, enough. I digress.
3, 2, 1, drop it.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
Drop it hard.
Let's go.
It's time to
Oh, penalties in all season. Law, I got it queued up for you now, big dog. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you wanted, big bro. All right, here we go.
Back to the decision ahead on Amari, his usage, not just production, but in terms of how often he was targeted, even when he was on the field, it was down. What do you make of his relative lack of involvement, especially for someone who's got the contract of a number one wide receiver?
I just think it's an offensive philosophy, and with when we had the skilled players that we had, between Kellen and Dak, I think there was a progression of where you threw the ball, and depending on how the defense played you, it would point the ball to certain places where, hey, if they're going to double over here and they're going to double over the top over here, then that's going to dictate that the ball goes here. So I think it's more.
Let me stop that for a second.
You hear what the hell he said, man?
A bunch of.
And then after the end.
Who first? Because I got something to say. But look at Law.
A bunch of.
What happened to Law?
To Law's point.
Law is gone.
No, you ain't finishing
Law
it though.
has left
But
the
you gotta
building.
finish playing. You gotta finish playing it. You gotta finish that play where Gil can get you.
Big dog, we gonna get to it, I promise you.
Okay.
I want to talk about that part.
As
though.
Law would say, in the words of Law Nation, bull sugar. 100 1,000%. Did you hear him trying to ad-lib? He don't even understand coverages and routes.
No, hold on.
He don't even understand that.
I think
he does, OC, because he's director of player personnel. Yeah, he do. He's director of player personnel, OC.
No,
he know everything about football.
He's going.
You stupid, bitch.
Those are our football guys,
from the
OC.
hip. He's talking from the hip.
That's our football guys.
From the hip.
That's our football guy, OC.
No. This boy is talking from the hip. And it dictates if they roll coverage this way. Then you got to single here, and then you got to go over there. No, you scheme your guys open, man. You call the appropriate routes. It's called motion. It's called lining them up in a slot. Come on, man. That's a bunch of nonsense. Then he starts to stutter because you know you're up to no good. That's when your mama asks you, did you put your hand in the cookie jar? Did you get some cookies? Well, mama, it's just some crumbs there, mama. I'm just gonna wipe up the crumbs. Come on, man.
Red as hell.
That's nonsense.
He was red as hell when that question. His face got red as hell when he was asking that question. He said he wiped his head right quick. That pressure, that blood was flowing because you knew you was lying. But remember, this is our football guy. This is director of player personnel. This is our football guy who Will McClay has to report to. Seriously? This is who Will McClay has to report to on players?
Big James. Can you imagine?
This is who they got to report to.
Hey, Big A James, can you imagine you doing all of it? You Will McClay, you doing all that goddamn work. You working hard, and then
work hard, and then you got to go report to this dude.
No, my son. Stephen Jones said, no, my son said this guy's better.
My God. This is who we have directing our football players. Lord, how Jesus.
But this is the sad part. Let me get in here real quick with you boys, man.
Oh, God.
Listen, the sad part is he telling the truth. That's Kellen Moore's system. He wasn't lying, OC. That's his system. That's that aggressively take what the defense gives you. That's what that is. And that's why I was saying, and I did a lot of videos on this. I asked a question on my last video that I did. I asked a question, and I'm asking a straight up question. Which one would you rather have if you was a quarterback? Our progression that starts with your best receiver that goes down to your least talented, or would you want to have a system where you have to find the open guy based on what the defense is giving you? You want to go from the best to the worst, because if Amari is open, you get it out quick, and you likely go get it out because he likely go be open. But when you go through this system stuff, and this is the worst part also about what he said, if I'm a defense, I know how to beat you. Let me ask you a question. If everybody followed the Stephen Jones philosophy, right, and Kellen Moore, right, to where if we want to take the ball away from Cooper Kupp, let's show a double team look on Cooper Kupp, and that's gonna make them do what? Go away from him. Because
Cedric Wilson.
Or Cedric Wilson. No, I'm saying if we was the Rams, right?
Okay,
with this system. Right. And with this system, if I'm a defense and I want to take away Cooper Kupp, I'm going to just show a double look. Because I know this offense is going to then avoid him.
Right.
You see
so it makes it predictable. It makes it predictable.
And they can set you up with it. So they talk like that's a smart system, but it's actually a system that plays into the hands of the defense. And the sad thing is this: a lot of people blaming Dak. People saying,
but you know what else?
Here's the half of the year. I don't think Dak regressed. I think this system, they caught up to the system.
They caught up to the system.
Right.
Yeah. In the second half of the season, because that's when it struggled.
Right.
They caught on to it, and it started to struggle. But you know what else, though? What you said, boss? When he was talking about Stephen Jones said, well, if there's a double team, then we're going to go to the person open. That can't be all the way true. If somebody lying, because I heard Amari Cooper, when they were asking him in the season, why aren't you getting them targets? He said, I don't know. I'm not being double teamed. I remember in that interview. I remember him saying that. He was saying he was not being double teamed. He was saying, I was open. I'm not getting double. I'm not seeing the double team, so I don't understand why I'm not getting the ball. But once again, he said, I'm not the coach. I just do what I'm supposed to do. You feel what I'm saying? He said, I don't make the plays. But he said that I'm not getting double covered all the time, so I don't know why I'm not seeing the ball.
Here's the politics and the contradiction of this whole thing. Here's the politics and the contradiction of the whole thing. You could see early in the year in particular that they were scheming CeeDee Lamb open. They were motioning CeeDee Lamb. They would give him reverses. They would trips left, line him up single right. What are you doing? You're dictating a one-on-one matchup, and you threw him the ball. So don't tell me that you can scheme for CeeDee Lamb to get open and you don't have a strategy for your number one to be open. That's a contradiction, and it's politics. And furthermore, here's the cardinal sin and the primary flaw of this system. I'm going to give it to you. If you ain't never heard it, here it is. Here's the primary flaw to this system. You are letting the defense dictate where the ball goes.
Amen.
That's the number one sin. You are letting the defense dictate. And so the successful offensive systems and coaches, as an offensive coach, I will not let you dictate. I'm going to force the ball where I want it to go and say, take it and ask for another one, because I'm not going to let you dictate where I call the ball. Because if you dictate where the ball goes, you also dictate what plays I call. And if you dictate what plays I call, you know the plays, and you are going to destroy me in key situations and cause us to lose the game. I cannot let you dictate. Under no circumstances. That's the cardinal flaw to the system.
San Francisco. San Francisco. OC 100% right. 1 billion%.
A billion%, bro.
Because they ran the same plays over and over. They said it. They showed it in the Kurt Warner game. They ran one play 4 times in a row. And he even said it. The Niners knew it was coming, but they took too long to readjust. So the second time they showed it, they as soon as the play opened, they knew exactly the play, and their defense opened right up to it, and it was in an opening. And then he would keep running that same play. And I'm going to go back to what Brian Broader said about Kellen Moore in the midseason. He said he don't have a plan. He don't have a counterpunch. He says he comes out there with a certain amount of plays he wants to run. But when that defense shut it down, he don't have any counter moves to do when they're coming here and shutting down the plays. He don't have counter moves. And then he just kind of do the same play. Well, let's just try to go away from that play, and then 4 plays later, let's come back to it. Let's see.
Right.
These defensive coordinators ain't stupid, because that's what he was doing. He would do the play, they would wait for it, and then 5 or 6 plays later, he would come right back to it like they don't know it.
Right. He did a flea flicker like that on one of the breakdowns. Hey, so how do we get beyond this point, guys? I'm going to ask all 3 of y'all this right here, because every time I say it, I get a gang of people that say, Law, it can't all just be Kellen Moore. It can't all just be Mike McCarthy. You can't just blame Ezekiel Elliott, the offensive line, and Amari Cooper. How much blame do Dak Prescott get? Because you being a Dak Prescott apologist, he just can't win the big games, Law. He ain't doing it. So how can y'all correct that statement right there?
Well, I'm going to be all the way honest with you, big bro, Law. You can't, because you can't do nothing with low IQ. You can't.
Okay.
So after we fully explained it and showed the video where Stephen Jones himself said why Cooper was not getting the ball, what did he say? System. That's what he said, right? We heard him say that.
Yep.
So if you still blaming Dak after even Stephen Jones himself said it, even Kellen Moore said it, then you had all these Hall of Famers, Aikman said it, then you had also, Michael Irvin said, then you also had, Kurt Warner said, you also had Jimmy Johnson said, you also had Emmitt Smith said. I mean, goddamn. Excuse me. I mean, how many
I
Hall of
love
Famers got to point directly at Kelly Moore before you stop blaming the quarterback like a big dummy? I can't help dumb people, Law. I'm sorry. I can't.
And I'm gonna
help
get some
dumb people.
balance to this. I'm gonna get some balance to this though, because Dak Prescott himself admitted in a Super Bowl interview with Rich Eisen, he said, "Hey man, some people were saying I was injured, some people were saying this, that, and the other, and they were giving injuries a little bit more credit than what they should.
Right.
You know, in some of those games, I just didn't play my best ball."
Yeah.
So on that part, you can hold Dak accountable and say, look, man, he missed some throws. He maybe didn't have a couple good games, right? And yeah, that happened, but that's true for any quarterback in the NFL. No quarterback has 16 great games. None of them. Even the elite, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, none of them. Pat Mahomes struggled for about 6 games the first part of this year until they righted the ship and they turned it around. So on that part, you can hold Dak accountable for his play and some throws, but for the overall arcing theme, right, the overall arcing theme of you not getting the ball to your number one receiver or you not scheming certain guys open, then you got to hold the offensive coordinator accountable for that part.
And I'm going to be honest with you, man. The OC, I just came up with this the last 2 days. I don't even think it's Kellen Moore. The more I've been looking at history, I think this has been pushed down from Stephen Jones. Because, see, I had to go back and look at what they was doing also when Amari first got hurt, even with Scott Linehan. Go look at his snaps and his percentage of snaps.
Yeah.
He was averaging 60 to 70% when his counterparts and number ones across the league was averaging 95 to 98% of snaps on the field. So they, even when they got Amari, didn't go away from receiver by committee. They just had a way better piece in receiver by committee.
Right. Because now they had a CeeDee Lamb and they had Michael Gallup. So there, it kind of throws off that receiver by, you know what I'm saying? I see what you're saying, boss, because when we brought Amari in, when Dallas brought Amari in, who was it? With Deontay Thompson and Hearns, we already knew it was bad. So it didn't look as bad, or it didn't look like he wasn't getting targeted because those guys weren't really that good. Right. But now you got other good receivers in the mix. You feel what I'm saying? So now that gets exposed more, where it was still the same thing going on, but you just didn't have the elite talent like you had with the CeeDee Lamb and the Michael Gallup. You got better talent now. So it kind of hit, it kind of more exposed it now, but back then it kind of hit it. That's just kind of crazy how all this stuff kind of happens, where you get Amari Cooper, you traded a first-round draft pick, and you were beating out your chest. Remember when Stephen Jones was beating out his chest that he got that first round? And maybe he was talking all slick at that year. Well, I'll go ask the Raiders how they feel about it. Remember when he was feeling so good, smelling himself, that he made the trade of the freaking year. And now 2 years later or whatever, now you complaining and crying about him. And now you want to get rid of him just like you did Dez and all them. And once again, Cole Beasley said the front office, not the coaches, dictates who gets the ball. That's why Ezekiel Elliott stayed in the lineup. And that's why when they kept on asking Mike McCarthy about Tony Pollard, he said, hell, I don't know. We all wanted Tony Pollard to get the ball. But
Hey, Big Game James. The OC. I just tweeted you that. Look, check your DM. Man, Big Game James, me and you on the same page.
Oh, you sent me something, big dog?
I just tweeted. I was just thinking like that what Cole Beasley said.
Yeah.
The front office.
Yeah.
And he had no reason to
He didn't
lie.
say the coach. He said the
coach.
He did say the front office. God. Exactly what he said. He said the front office dictate. And so, like, to Dre the Great's point, bro. Look at Dre the Great. Look at what he said. I said the same thing today. It all came full circle with this interview.
Wow.
So with this interview now, and listen, I didn't mean to call people that blame Dak dumb. That was a little bit too much. But if you've been listening to us and you still saying that, you might not be dumb, but you're extremely stubborn.
He said you're extremely stubborn.
You're extremely stubborn. Because we can't lay it out no clearer than what we laying it out on all our individual channels and this corporate show. You just can't. So I think what you said, OC, was so dead on, bruh, on what's happening to Kellen Moore. is, and that system that's being pushed down, in my opinion, from Stephen Jones, that receiver by committee, is they showing them different looks. That's what happens to the OC's point. You know what I mean? Is we go show you a double team on Amari because we want you to go at Schultz, and we want you to target Cedric Wilson because that favors our matchup. And we talking like we smart, but it's actually we done got figured out. You know, you ever have somebody that's still lying to you and you see right through them and they still think they can lie to you?
Yeah, lie to kick it, you know.
Yeah. Let's finish this interview though, because we right here at.
Finish that one
was
part.
just the B part. Let's go. That's the A part. Let's
Get
go to B part.
get the juicy part.
The juicy part. That wasn't even the juicy part, big dog. Let's go.
It wasn't because he ran.
Yeah, here we go. Check this. Yeah, he ran. Check this out. This is real. Check this out.
The system deal, it wasn't a thing where we just said, hey, we're not going to target Amari as much.
Is that the right
Based on the
system?
Then does that make financial so you're not getting your investment?
Boy, he turned away from that question, didn't he, Big
Look
J?
how red he is. Look how red he
Turned
is.
away from that
Look
question.
how red
Let's
he
go
is.
back.
Go back to it because he ran away from it. He ran. He read.
Because
He read his OC sweatshirt.
Man, he ran right away from that. And thank you, Michael. Can I say this real quick, everybody?
Thank you, Michael
Gelkin. Thank you for being a true journalist. Thank you.
Yes,
We've been waiting on that. We've been waiting on somebody to ask about the system. We finally got an independent reporter. And I want to say publicly, thank you. Thank you. Now, here we go, though. Look at this.
Is that the right
Based
system?
on the system, then
No, rewind it. Rewind it.
so
Get
you're not
a
getting your
little.
investment dollars.
We go through all that.
Okay, look. All right, here we go. Because he asked him,
Keep
is
on
that
going.
the
Keep
right
going.
system?
Keep
He turned
Keep going a
away
little bit
from
more.
it. All right, a little bit more? All right.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Right there?
Yeah, right there. Right there.
All right, here we go.
Thing where we just said, hey, we're not going to target Amari as much.
Is that the right
Based
system?
on the system, then does that make financial so you're not getting your investment
You see, he
dollars?
put that head
go
down,
through all that.
and whenever he got a
I
tough
got-
question, he start to rubbing that head. He start to rubbing that head and putting that head down, start getting flush. And Michael Gelkin asked you, and you ran quick as hell when he said, "Is that the right system?" He said, What'd you say, Clarence?
What'd you say,
What'd you say, Clarence? Get that question out, Clarence, so I can go ahead and answer that. Get Michael Gelkin away from me because I'm tired of him asking me this dumb stuff. You see I'm getting flushed. You see I'm getting red. You see I'm putting my hands through my hair. You better leave me alone about Amari. Now, the first question they asked him about Amari, they were like, he's like, what's up with Amari? I told y'all now. I ain't going to talk about no Amari. Now, that tell me right there, Amari, you ain't on good footing and you about to be gone.
Yeah, he finna be gone, bro. And then I think they doing that for trade. They trying to have trade talks. They in trade talks. That's why you want to be quiet, because you don't want to look like, because if you want to increase his value, you don't want to look like you're getting rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So you want to, we're not talking about that, but you still talking about it. You know what I mean?
You feel me?
So you hurting, they still hurt themselves by talking, but they yet still talk. I want to look at
And you
that.
know what else, boss?
Yeah.
Check this out. You know what else? And see, here's the thing. I think that they with that trade talk, they would do that before they probably would want to cut him, because they know Cowboys Nation has got a close ear to this and probably going to uproar. So if they make it better trading him, it'll make the pressure off of Stephen Jones, because the pressure will be on if they just outright just get rid of them like they did Dez. Because I feel like a lot of people think the situation with Dez was different, probably because he was more outspoken, and Amari Cooper hasn't talked as much. So I feel like a lot of people will go hard on Amari's side than the Cowboys side than before with that Dez situation. So that's why I think he would try to jump out there and get trade value for him, because it makes him look good and the organization look good.
Man, come on, my butt. I need a butt for this dude real quick. Facts. All right, check this out, man. My Law, he done snuck something in here, man. Law smart, man. Y'all got Law, man. Listen, Law always be flying planes, man. He always be flying the plane. I see you snuck this in here, Law.
I just part two. I had part one if they didn't want to let me because it's too long. But yeah, that's what we was talking about on Twitter. I DM you as well on the Twitter.
Okay,
the
I'll
full
pull it up.
article. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh yeah.
What's
man.
your thoughts on it? Because you
No. Well, we was talking about the front office. They dictate what and who get the ball, and it's around money. And it's crazy is when you stroll down just a little bit. You stroll down just a little bit. And that one that's right above it, they was talking about that, in parentheses. I can't read it. It's too far.
Hold on, I'll make it bigger.
Yeah.
I can read it. I can read all.
Read it out, Big Game, James. Read it out.
You want me to read?
Go ahead and read it out, Big Game.
Okay, well, boss got the thing in front of me.
I got it.
Hold on. You got no. Okay, there we go. Are you? This is where it says.
He said,
doesn't mean I'm gone.
The front office pushes who they want to get the ball to. I have been a huge priority in the regard. Maybe they would change, but I'm not sure. More balls come my way in 2-minute drill where nothing is planned.
Read that bottom part too, where it says doesn't mean I'm gone. I'll play anywhere where I can find more of an impact. I would love for that to be Dallas or anywhere else that gives me my props for making an impact. I just want to ball. It's hard to do that with 3 to 4 ops a game.
Same thing.
3 to 4 opportunities.
And it wasn't. Let me ask you a question.
That was his contract year. That was like they tried to pay his contract
year.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
He also.
Yes, it was.
That's
crazy.
I have a
That is
theory.
crazy, bro.
On his contract year.
Man, that's crazy.
Conspiracy theorists. Y'all being or maybe we look at law crazy, man. Law be dunking that law stupid.
I have a theory. I have a quick theory. Could it be that the Cowboys' philosophy is still a little antiquated in terms of running the ball and having superior defensive linemen? Because we notice they pay offensive linemen. They pay elite defensive ends. They pay running backs. It seems like they're squeamish to pay elite receivers big dollars.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah.
I could give you my thoughts on that. That's
well, they ran away from DeMarco Murray.
Did you see how long Dez had to hold out?
Right.
Yeah,
when he got his deal?
That's why I'm saying it's coming from the top. See,
let me tell somebody this right quick too.
More. I said, hold
Cole
on.
Cole Beasley better years with Dak Prescott, never with Tony Romo, by the way.
Facts.
And they got their stat lines to prove it. But go ahead, boss Cowboy. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good, big dog. But see, a lot of people not seeing it, OC, where, you see love for the offensive line. They believe in it, right? You see love for the running backs. They believe in it. You see with the receivers, because we talking about Amari Cooper right now. But all we got to do is go back just a little bit. Look at what Dez was talking about. Go look at what Cole was talking about. When Cole said front office, right? And even when they was trying to pay him, Cole said opportunity is better than money. Do y'all remember that? Yeah, he said it's better than money, meaning in Dallas, they not gonna target you, man. Because this is a vision. I'm telling y'all, this system, this committee stuff, this ain't Kellen Moore. Even though Kellen Moore is the ideal fit. See, Kellen Moore is. This is what the OC said, which he was perfectly coined this. This is the OC statement. He called Kellen Moore a Trojan horse. I went back and forth on that thought. At first, I was all the way with it. Then I went away from it. But after listening and it went full circle, no, he was a Trojan horse. He was a guy that could be controlled by them Joneses to feature that offensive system of receiver by committee. That's why they attached him to Mike McCarthy. That's why it was no question that he was going to have to work with Mike McCarthy. And that's why Big Game James said 2 weeks ago, and he echoed this a lot, I like Kellen Moore, so we are keeping him.
Yep.
And that's what it is.
Too much facts, man.
Is what it is. So, but I do have good news though. To be all
good news.
People thought this is be all negative. This is not all negative, man. I do think some parts of receiver by committee could work. See, I didn't think I was gonna say that. Yeah, I think some parts of it could work. I shocked y'all with that one. And let me tell
No,
you
I
how.
agree with you.
If you got dogs, yeah, receiver by committee can work. If you got dogs, but if you got regular players, that ain't gonna work. You gonna lose, and you ain't gonna win nothing.
It only
yeah,
work
if you
with
got 3 dogs, yeah, that receiver
Yeah.
committee can definitely
You gotta
work.
have dogs.
But you gotta have
And you gotta
dogs,
feature 'em.
and you gotta feature your dogs. You gotta say, I got 3 dogs on me, and you ain't gonna stop me. Just to the OC's point where he said, I got the offense. Look at my offense. Look at my receivers. I can dominate you anytime I want. And it doesn't seem like that was the philosophy. And like you said, boss, defenses caught up with this offense. They were humming the first 6-7 weeks because defense weren't catching up with what was going on. But them coordinators really sat down and said, okay, well, let's see what's really going on here. And once they figured it out, and what we say, this is a copycat league, every defense from that point said, we don't give a hell if we ain't got the personnel to stop that. We're going to do what they did because you're doing basic plays, and we see it now. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut it down and show us what else you can do. And he couldn't do it. And if you're trying to be that offensive guru, you have to be able to readjust. And what were we talking about with the Dallas Cowboys for so long with Jason Garrett? They never make adjustments. Every time they get a good lead or something, they can't make an adjustment in the second half. And that started happening with the Cowboys again in the second half of the season. They weren't making the adjustments.
Matt Flynn. Oh, okay. My bad.
Man, does that fall? And then when people get mad, people are frustrated with me, this Mike McCarthy thing. I get it. He's not perfect in this. But I'm telling you what, if I was a coach and I already had to keep this dude on the offense, I couldn't even pick my own offensive coordinator. I had to pick this dude. I got to go on the sword with him when he's doing goofy stuff. Nah, I ain't. Go ahead and fall on it yourself, dog. I'm not jumping on that sword, bro.
Who else you think, outside of Dallas, who else you think that would give Mike McCarthy a chance?
Okay,
Head
good question.
coach.
Good question. And that's why I wanted to get to, Long. Good segue. See, it's some opportunities sitting out there. Like, people gotta look around the league. Like so I looked around the league.
He would go somewhere else and win. I don't care. Nobody told me.
Oh yeah, Cooper sure would. Yeah, he would.
No, I'm talking about McCarthy. I'm just saying, if they got rid of Mike McCarthy ain't gonna start being some terrible coach now. No, he's not.
Right.
No, he's not.
I feel you on that.
And every time they talk to him, he's always quick to tell people, I know how to coach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you reading that right, Big. You're not reading that wrong. You reading that right. I get that same vibe from his press conference. And see, he's low key interviewing. When he speak out now, he's communicating to the other 31 teams.
I know what I'm doing. I've won.
These guys.
Right. You saying it, boss. He's saying it every time. He's saying it every time. It ain't me, it's them.
He is.
He's saying it in no certain words. It's not me, it's Kellen. It's not me, it's them.
That's
and
what he
hey,
said.
what am I supposed to do? I'm a winner. When he said in the interview, I'm a winner. I'm here to win, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. This other stuff, though, I don't got no control over that. What you want me to do? Like, my hands is tied. Like, I don't know what the hell these Jones is doing. That's what he's saying.
That was gunfire. Yeah, that was gunfire. Yeah, he was selling himself to the other 31 teams. Going to what Law was saying, though, like in terms of what can we do? Because we see the writing is on the wall, right? So we can, cry about it, or we can stay solution-oriented, right? And if I look around, there are some opportunities. Like, who would be mad at a Ridley if Amari left? I wouldn't. I would, because that's really like the same type of player. They got the same type of game. And because them cutting him frees up also $11 million, and they need picks.
Right.
But then my problem is, and I'm gonna say this, keeping it real, going all the way back to what Law said. Why would a receiver want to come here though?
Right. When you see what they're gonna do to you.
Yeah, you see they not gonna target you. So, like, Steven killing himself. That's why, honestly, going back, I'm still on Law's question, right? I think we go be likely forced to have to handle this in the draft.
Traylon
Which
Burks
also could work. Yeah. Which also could work, bro. Like, listen, like, I know, see, because with the final word, we go talk about the problems, but we go also talk about potential solutions. And the front office have done this before. Will McClay had to walk his, genius self in there and fix the problems that they start. The Joneses and them started, and he come in there and he what? Fix it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things to where, yes, they finna put all the weight again on Will McClay. And my thing is, how long this gonna keep working though? How long we gonna keep depending on him to get them draft picks right? How long we go depend on the right picks falling to us? How long? Because that's not guaranteed. Even though he been coming through, right? He been coming through, but all you need is a couple of bad picks at the wrong time, and then this whole thing falls apart where you don't have a number one, or your boy Trey Burton or somebody like him was taken. You know what I mean? Because they know you need a receiver, so they jump you in the draft and they get him. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of stuff when you overly dependent on the draft. It's a bird in hand. It's way better than two in the bush with Amari Cooper. Straight up.
Well, I'll tell you what, CD Lamb, get all you can now, bro, because guess what's going to happen to you in a couple years? Guess what's about to happen to you in a couple years? Same thing going to happen to you. And Michael Parsons, I feel bad. Trevin Diggs, I feel bad for y'all. Maybe Michael Parsons, because he's so gung-ho Cowboys, maybe that they'll let him slide and won't. But he probably going to get it too.
He go get it too, bro.
I feel bad for you guys that are coming up. You guys are great in the rookies. And that's why I made a Twitter post a long time ago, and I said, Michael Parsons, get that Super Bowl now while you a rookie. Get it in your rookie contract. I said it. Get that Super Bowl in that rookie contract, because when your deal comes up, I feel bad for you. Because if you keep killing them stats the way you are, Stephen Jones sitting there looking at that like, man, he got to calm down, dog. I don't have to pay this dude a lot of money. Calm down with them sacks. Don't go crazy with them sacks. Stop getting a scheme of defense where he don't get 10 sacks a game. 10 sacks a year. You feel me?
Maybe we like to put him at safety.
That's serious what Big is not joking with that. See, y'all think Big joking.
Like,
no, that's real.
That's real.
Mike McCarthy said something that people didn't peep on that Eisen show, bro. He said they focus on the big picture. I'm trying to win. Eisen should have asked one more question. What is big picture stuff that's in the way of winning? I guarantee it would have been something like not targeting Cooper. Because on the big picture, if you under target him, then you can do what you're doing now. You can use your media goons to go shoot slugs at him, and then the national media go jump on it because they go on anything negative about the Cowboys. They feed in the Cooper just like they fed in the Dez.
Yep.
They go shoot it down.
And Mike McCarthy said this, and this was one of the most interesting statements. He said this. He said, "This is the most unique situation I've ever been in. This is different than anything I have to deal with."
Same.
You know, so what is he saying? It's an underlying tone that's not 100% focused on winning. But I want to jump in and just throw this out here and get you guys' feedback, right?
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to a defensive star like Micah Parsons, I think they pay defensive stars that can affect the game. But if you see Micah Parsons, and please pay close attention to this, I'm saying it way early. Micah Parsons rushed the quarterback a little bit less than half of his snaps, okay? If you see Micah Parsons not rushing the quarterback more than 30% of the time in this next year's stats, then you know it might be some nonsense going on.
It ain't gonna be.
If you see his,
we got at least 5 years.
No. Well, I'm telling y'all though. Yeah, but I'm saying, man, if you see a shift in that, is it a setup? Now, I'm being a conspiracy artist right now, but I'm saying to you guys' point about targets.
Yeah, but it happens, bro. Like
I just feel like when they get close to those, I didn't mean to cut you off, boss.
No,
go ahead.
You good, bro. You got it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say real quick that it just seems like when there's 2 years left in their deal, things shift. It just seems like things start changing for them.
Right.
You know, because they're thinking, Stephen Jones I think he's in his head. I gotta pay this dude a lot of money, man. Change it up. Why can't we believe that they don't say that? They make already all the other decisions. Why can't they be like, hey, you need to stop giving them the ball so much, or hey, you need to stop calling that play so much because he's killing them. We hear it all the time from these other players in the NFL. I've heard it from George T. He told me the team, he kept him from his $500,000 bonus. He wasn't hurt. Nothing was wrong with him. But he said if he started these next 2 games, they were going to have to pay him $500,000 on his bonus. They sat him. They sat him.
That's
The
cold.
next 2 games,
That's cold.
they stopped playing him as much, so they didn't have to pay him that money. He said, Jay, it happens all the time in the NFL. So if we're saying that, then why can't it be believable that they don't do that? And like I said, CD May got targeted right now, but that's because he's on his second year.
Right.
Now, if they draft that rookie, let's say they draft that rookie, right, and everybody's like, ooh, we got this rookie. Guess what now? CD Lamb is going to be the afterthought, and their young boy's going to get it because we're like, oh, he got that cheap rookie deal. Let's get him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and a good indicator now is to look at and see what they're going to do with Tony Pollard.
Ooh,
it's his contract year, and we'll see what they're going to do with that.
What you think?
Well, he already made a statement.
He already made a statement about Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott ain't going nowhere. He got guaranteed money, and I love him. He's a warrior. Sorry, Tony Pollard, you ain't coming back here. This your last year TP with the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna get somebody else. You're not getting it here. And guess who the team loves? They love some Ezekiel Elliott. They paid him that money. So guess what? He is always going to trump Tony Pollard. And that's why when I said they're asking why didn't TP get the money, Stephen Jones just told you. He's a warrior. I love Ezekiel Elliott. He's always going to be the guy here. And his money is guaranteed. So of course he's going to be back. And so of course he's going to start when people like, he shouldn't start next year. Yeah, he is, because that money dictates he starts.
Man, my goodness.
All right, do y'all have time for one more, dog?
Go ahead.
You sure, man? I want to be courteous of you guys.
I got a short one.
Go ahead.
All right, this is
go
a short one. Unless, did y'all have anything else on that too? I didn't want to rush.
No, sir.
This is fire topic. All right, cool. All right, but I think we handled this topic, bro. Before I go here, man. Let me say this first. If we didn't display the power of independence, just being honest, the power of independence is real, y'all. Like, where we can really say what others can't say. It's real.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, like, you get us, we come together. We don't talk before the shows. This is all spontaneous thoughts. Nobody copying off nobody homework over here. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of those things to where, man, y'all got to share the content, like, for real. If you're a part of the movement, be all the way in the movement. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Do all the stuff you're really supposed to do. But more importantly, share. Share all the guys. Like, share. Because my boy Big be bringing it. My boy Law be bringing it. Facts, truth. Boss be bringing it. Facts, truth. And the OC, facts, truth. That's what we really all try to stand on. That's our creed. This is a mission for 6. Before I get into this last topic, I want to say that real quick. And other guys too. If I didn't mention them, y'all know who they are. But it's a lot of guys out there, to me, that's committed to the cause. All right, here we go. This is what I want to get into. This is a side topic. The Cowboys talking about cutting Anthony Brown for Kevin Joseph as a backup. We can go around the circle on that before I find the words. Let me show that.
Why
again.
would you cut?
Read that again. Hell yeah. Read
too
that.
fast.
Now I was all the way. Hell yeah, I was all the way lost on that.
All right, so Mike Fisher, and this has been going out, that the Cowboys could cut, then re-sign Anthony Brown as a Kelvin Joseph backup. That's one of them things that kind of snuck out on Twitter real quick. You know what I'm saying? It snuck out today. And it was 6 a.m. in the morning when Fish posted this. So that's likely coming from some talks he getting in the building. All right.
Right.
So I want to get y'all thoughts on that. This should be a pretty good back and forth on this one.
I'll go first, man. I think this, man. I think that Kelvin Joseph, you use a second-round draft pick on him. To me, he clearly has the most upside. He has great athletic ability, great measurables, and I think that you got to give him the opportunity to cut his teeth sooner rather than later. Just like with Trayvon Diggs, he had some struggles and ups and downs, and then he came back and played fantastic. And so I think that similarly, it'll be the same situation with Kelvin Joseph. I think that you bring back Anthony Brown based upon what he did this year, but then you drafted Kelvin Joseph based upon what Anthony Brown did on previous years. You see what I'm saying? So Bring him back, man. Yeah, bring him back cheap. No worries on that. And let the young man cut his teeth. Let Kelvin Joseph get the run so that you can have 2 elite corners. That's what I say.
It's idiotic, man, to even, whoever the source is, man, tell them to lean forward. You losing all ground because why you should proposition, you should set up a trade before you cut. Let me repeat, you set up a freaking trade before you cut. But now since you want to have loose lips and you say it to somebody and they're spitting out that the fact that you're going to cut them, why in the world?
He loses value.
Yep. He loses trade value. So you take trade value off the doggone table. So lean forward just a little bit more. It don't make sense. And that's the problem with the Cowboys. They sully, they denigrate, they talk too doggone much. They got diarrhea at the mouth. It's running like a faucet. They need to hush. That type of situation would have been wonderful if we'd have heard it like this. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. You know. We got breaking news. The Cowboys been traded Anthony Brown to the such and such team, and now they're going to receive a 3rd round and a possible 6th round conditional trade value off of that by having one of the guys with the top PFF grades in the National Football League. Anthony Get Burned Brown is now traded. We have more news. At 6, you know, that would have been crazy. That would have been better. But no. Now they're going to talk about cutting the man. That's
and what is Anthony Brown dumb and say you cut me and I come back to y'all at cheaper rate? That's stupid. I wouldn't do that if I'm Anthony Brown. You feel me? I'm just bouncing off you with Law. Y'all remember a Run DMC song that was back in the day? It said, "You talk too much and you never shut up." You know that song?
Yeah,
you talk too much. And you never shut up.
Yeah,
man, that's we need to start playing that song for the Dallas Cowboys all the time. Just like you just said, Law. Why in the hell why are you saying that? Shut up. Just go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. Joseph, you picked Joseph in the 2nd round, like OC said. Right, he's supposed to be starting. He's supposed to be starting. That's why you drafted him in the 2nd round. So why is it so? Oh, let's cut him, make him come back signage for cheaper, and then be his backup. If I'm a player and I just heard that in the news, hell to the no. That's just dumb. I'm not doing that as no daggone player. And then, like you said, the Dallas Cowboys, shut up. Why y'all always want to let everybody know y'all moves, just like when y'all talk about in the draft? Y'all would always talk about, oh, y'all, we're a BPA. Stephen Jones talking about, no, y'all ain't no BPA. Y'all talking the news every damn year about we need a receiver. We need a wrist. We need that. And then y'all target them, and then that's what y'all draft. So stop lying and talking about, man, just shut up. I'm just mad now.
And let me say this. Let me say this because I'm reading the comments. There's no shaded fish. Fish, of course.
He's doing his job.
He's doing his job.
Yeah.
It's the shade at the person that's talking to
the front office.
Fish
be
don't get
quiet.
paid by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, ain't nobody tripping on Fish. Do that, Fish. Right. Get the story.
Get the story, you know.
That helps us
because
it just validates what we like your story because it validates what we saying.
Right, facts.
Right. So facts shout out to Fish for getting the story, but it's shame. Let me hit the shame on the doggone person with the loose lips, the diarrhea at the mouth.
Diarrhea mouth, boy.
Shame.
I said, God dog.
Shame.
You turn on the water faucet. You turn on the water faucet, just coming out.
All right, man. All right, so final words. Whew. Oh, I didn't even speak on it. Well, let me say this real quick about it. I was so into what y'all was saying, I forgot that I didn't speak on it. Well, I'll say this. I'm pro competition. And Anthony Brown contract is a cheap contract. This is a hard one, if that thought is true, because I agree with what the OC said, is you want to rip the Band-Aid off and you want to go ahead and get the 2nd rounder going. You want him to get his developmental reps, just like Diggs got his developmental reps, which became that epic year 2. Because Big Game James predicted. I got to give my boy his props. His breakout player year 2, which I didn't agree with. I thought it was going to take to year 3 for Diggs to hit the level he did. I said he was going to have more than 7 interceptions, but Big called that. My boy Big said straight up, he said, that I feel like Trayvon Diggs, after he came out of training camp, is gonna have the breakout year. But you wouldn't have that breakout year 2 unless it was a OC type of, commitment to his year 1, right? Where they committed to putting him on the field. And when they committed to putting him on the field, that caused him to get the developmental reps that caused the year 2 Diggs, similar to Steele. So this is one I would digest. I'm not quite ready to be definitive on this. I'm gonna go ahead for the first time and say I'm in the middle. Sad. I know everybody like you in the middle. Yeah, I'm in the middle, dog. This is a hard one. This is because Anthony Brown, you can't deny how he played, bro. You can't deny it. You can't deny the cheapness of the contract, and you can't deny the play that you got out of the cheapness of that contract. But you also got the dilemma of development. This is a tough one, bro. You know what I mean? But coming in as a backup, stop. And then if that's true, here we go again with those predetermined outcomes.
Yeah.
Where they already, like Mike McCarthy said, they think big picture. I'm just trying to win. They're thinking big picture. They already know how they go work it out 2 years in advance. They go, it's the typical stuff. So get into the final words. Kick it off.
I was gonna tell y'all, man, before we go into the final word.
Yeah.
Boss and Big Game James and the OC. Who's your favorite right now in the draft? It don't have to be your ultimate pet cat, but can you help a brother out? Who's your favorite right now?
Ooh, that's hard.
I don't got a favorite.
Yeah, that's
I'm
tough.
Keep it real. It's too many good players in this draft.
You gonna wait till after this weekend?
It's gonna be long after that because there ain't even no definitive number 1 right now. For real, there ain't no definitive number 1 on top of this draft. They can say what they want. So I just think this is a draft where there's not a lot of dominating, but there's a lot of good value.
Yeah.
So I can't
Which groups? Linebackers.
I like linebackers.
Safeties?
I like the linebackers. Okay. I like the linebackers. I like the edge guys. I really like the linebackers, and I think Cowboys could. They can do some work and get some good linebackers in this draft. That can really flow off Michael Parsons, and with Jabril Cox coming back, they could really solidify it in this draft, I think.
And the next time we're gonna talk about that. The next time the combine will be over with and the pro days will be starting. We'll finally, as a final word, start getting heavy into draft content, and we'll start it with linebacker. How about that? Because we almost did that about 2 weeks ago, but Big James didn't come, so we squashed the linebacker talk. He had a long list to talk about, and the OC did about 8 videos on linebacker, and then I didn't do no videos yet on it, but I'm ready to talk about it. I would say I like the linebacker class. I love the tight end class. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love it. Like, I feel like I'm really pro empty in the room. I'm pro, like Jarwin and Schultz. They likely not gonna do that. I think they got some love for Schultz, and I think this is a tight end friendly offense, and we are biased towards tight end. I don't care what nobody say.
The witness tight ends.
Yep. It's the witness tight ends.
We bias to the witness tight ends. We don't get the dogs.
No, we don't get the dog, but we definitely want them witness tight ends. That's true.
I like that sign.
It's true. Like, and see, this is also why I knew we was just tripping on that committee stuff when I started looking at the history. When I was looking at 2018, remember, Whitten was getting 99% of the snaps. He was not leaving the field. But this is sad. Guess who got 98% of snaps? Schwinn. That tells you see what I'm saying? Amari was 60 to 70%. He was one of the lowest, even when he was running it up. So that tells you that we are a tight independent system, and we likely not gonna enter that room, but we should. We gonna throw money at Schultz to be a dump off. It's gonna be sad.
Yeah, they said they're gonna want Simi Fehoko. I know y'all probably heard that news that he's gonna be a hybrid.
That's hell no.
That just political talk.
That sounds dumb as shit. Excuse my language. That sounds dumb as shit.
Stupid.
Y'all don't like him
no,
as
man. You got Sean McKeon in there from Michigan. He's okay. What? You don't like Sean McKeon?
No, he's
no. I'm saying Simi. I don't like Simi. I don't like Simi as an H-back. No,
don't.
That dude's a receiver, man.
Yeah, he's a receiver. Yeah, don't do that.
He's a receiver, dude. He's a receiver. Why would you do that?
He gonna gain some little bit more weight.
That's dumb. That's just so stupid,
bro.
That's dumb. The dude was running a 4.3. That's dumb. He low 4.4.
He said they forced him to lose weight.
He gonna have to block, man.
I didn't see 4.3 when he played in free. I know he clocked it. And we all know clocking the 4.3 and actually running game speed 4.3. He ain't no game speed 4.3.
I'm gonna point you to something that shows some game speed. Who he was running in the end zone. Remember when Tony Pollard broke that long kick return back versus the Raiders? Okay. And Simi was on the other side of the field. If you go back and look at that highlight, you'll see Simi. Simi was almost right there with him coming from the other side of the field when Pollard hit that end zone. And Pollard was running full speed. So that showed me he got some kick, bro. He got a little bit of kick. Just saying. I ain't saying he got gift, but I'm saying
I don't think it's dumb, bro. Listen, if you got
I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's wise
out there. You got Schultz no block yourself,
and that's
as the outlet.
You're making my point. You're making my point.
A more athletic
Simi can block.
No, that's my
Simi is not. Simi ain't no blocker. You're gonna have him getting beat. Just like Schultz.
He's gonna be getting cooked.
He's gonna get his head beat in.
He's a receiver. Now he got to play tight end. He's about to get beat up, bro.
Yeah. He gonna get his head beat in. He gonna get his head beat in.
Yeah. I threw a grenade over there, baby.
I ain't feeling with that. I ain't feeling that. Because it's like he been playing receiver. Dallas always want to try to convert people and make them always want to do duels. How about let one person be good at what he is? He is a receiver. Let him be receiver. You come over to Dallas. Oh, can you play 3 positions? Oh, we love you.
Oh man, I would love to have this fight. Let's say this fight for the next one. We gonna pick this fight back up for real.
All right.
But I do like Simi. I do like Simi in the slot, though. I do like him in the slot, operating out of the slot. But when he's saying hybrid, that means they're gonna attach him to the end line, and if they do that, if I'm a DB, I'm yelling pass because I know the brother can't block.
Right.
That great.
Right. He was like 225. Now you got to put on that weight. No, man. Let get that Sean McKeon kid a chance from Michigan. If you're talking about beating cheap Stephen Jones, what you need to do is, when I seen Sean McKeon, I don't see where the difference is between him and Dalton with the athletic ability and things of that nature. And Sean McKeon, his first couple of years at Michigan, was strictly a blocking tight end. He was not a receiving tight end when he was at Michigan. He was a blocking tight end. So if you already had a guy
let me ask you this, though. Big game, James. What was Jermichael Finley? Because I think that he played with. Did you remember him?
Jermichael Finley with Green Bay. He was nasty. He was getting all kind of touches. But I'm gonna say this. That's when Mike McCarthy was running that offense, and he ain't doing it now. It's Kellen Moore.
But Sammy said that Mike McCarthy picked up the phone. Mike McCarthy picked up the phone and called him, not Kellen. So I'm just trying to figure this out.
I'm liking this.
Nah, I don't like.
If you like
Mike McCarthy, then.
If you want to be cheap, what's wrong? And I said this halfway through the season. What's wrong with just keeping Sprinkler, line him up on the line of scrimmage to the side you want to run the ball? Let him block. No, he's a better blocking tight end than anybody else on the team.
So y'all ain't gonna.
If you want to just get some blocking,
we don't just want blocking though, bro.
You didn't see when Sean McKeon.
Yeah, I know, but it's dumb to put Schultz there, boss. No, I'm not saying we didn't see nothing from him, Big. I agree with you, but I'm saying to Boss Cowboy, it's much smarter than lining up Schultz versus Chandler Jones and watching him get ran through like a piece of wet toilet tissue. Any talented or decent tight end, he's going to get ran through, bro, and it kills the run game, bro. It kills play. It kills the play. So forget that. Forget that. It kills the play.
Let me be official. I'm official for drafting one of these tight ends that's a blocker / passing guy, because there's a lot of them in this one. And I'm officially on record for clearing out the room and going after one of these Marshall's free agents. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of, this is the deepest Marshall's free agents in one group that I've ever seen. It's about 4 former first round tight ends that can block this free agent and cheat. So
yeah, but they won't spend, like, you a big fool. You a big fool. And my thing is, and I don't know if Schultz is, since you know how they have their little favorites in the organizations,
right?
You feel what I'm saying? And
right.
that would play to me plays in the part of him getting signed. If he's a favorite in the organization and he has that witness, he already has that witness on him, dog. That's why I feel like they may lean towards doing something with him. But first of all, you not be dumb as hell and put no franchise tag on him, because I already heard that they were talking about conversations. You better not do nothing stupid like that and put a franchise tag on Dalton Schultz.
I would,
bro. Okay, Dalton Schultz got good because they threw it to him to a lot. Do we remember in 2019 we were calling him a bust when he had all of 2 catches, 2 attempts, 2 thrown to him? He had 1 catch in 2019. One. He probably would have never saw the ball. He would probably never saw the ball if Blake Jarwin didn't get hurt, because Blake Jarwin was the man and nobody was even speaking on Dalton Schultz ever. We were all saying it was a bust and it was a wasted pick because you saw nothing from Dalton Schultz. Now all of a sudden he's an all-star. No, he just got a lot of targets. He ain't nobody special, but under Dalton Schultz, and I ain't hating on him, but bro, he ain't nobody special. Be paying no $12-13 million dollars a year.
Man, $12 million for an outlet. Nah,
cut it out.
Cut it out.
He don't got nothing special in his game.
And they could if they franchise. And this is the sad thing about the franchise.
OJ, you better go get OJ. How?
You better go get OJ, but you get.
They not gonna do it. You know what?
They need to go. My boy Hurts. Hayden
Hurts.
They might do that because of the connection with Dan Quinn, just like when people were talking about with Calvin Ridley. This Dan Quinn is getting these players.
Yes,
because Jerry Jones be pushing Dan Quinn.
Pushing P. Jerry Jones pushing P.
Let me leave it up. Let me the final word. The final word.
Pushing P. All right.
Oh my gosh,
man.
I mean, my final word is same old Cowboys. That's all I'm gonna say. Same old damn Cowboys. I don't know what I'm even excited for this next year for. I'm just keeping it real, folks. Please don't like Law says, shake me with the butter knife. Please don't shake me with the butter knife. But I'm not excited about this next year coming up. I am not excited about it. I feel like it's not going to be a good year. I feel like it's a lame duck year for Mike McCarthy. Especially with all this stuff that just came out with the Sean Payton thing. I don't know how in the hell this is going to be a good season for the Dallas Cowboys. But hey, guess what? They're still in the news and people are still talking about them. I guess that's what they want. But I mean, I just don't feel good about this year, folks. I just don't.
I'm going to go ahead and go next, man. Look, my final word is this, man. The Cowboys historically draft well. The Cowboys have a young, talented team. We know that based upon research, if you follow Boss Cowboy Sports at all, that most players make their biggest jump between year 1 and year 2, which means that a lot of these young pups, Osa, Micah, several of these rookies and young players, Jabril Cox coming back. Hey, these guys could potentially make a big jump, which will make that defense even stronger. Sure up the offensive line in the draft or in free agency. Hey, Dak comes back healthy. Ezekiel Elliott comes back healthy. Irregardless of meddling or the coaching staff, you got enough talent to make some noise. So have a good draft, have a great offseason, try to put it together, and come back and put some W's on the field, regardless of the meddling circumstances that we might deal with.
Yeah. Whew. And my final word is I'm a mix of Big Game James, where I would be lying if I said I had all optimism in these Dallas Cowboys on offense. But I'm talking about the offense. I like the defense. I feel good about the defense. I feel good about the staff. I feel good about Quinn. I feel good about, hopefully if we bring Kurtz back, I'm going to feel even better. I feel good about Micah and Osa going into year 2. I'm excited about that. I think our only chance is going to be our defense taking a whole nother level up and carrying this offense. Who's going to depend on insanity, and I'm saying that real. I'm not insulting the front office when I say that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing but expecting different results. I'm using the literal definition. They have positioned this offseason to say that they getting ready to do the same thing. Committee. So even if they upgrade the committee, I'm gonna say it like this. I wouldn't trust Randy Moss in this system. Randy Moss will
totally
get under
agree.
target in this system.
Yeah.
So I can't lie and act like I got all this pom-pom faith in us. I don't care if we go 15-1. I'm more so concerned about what do we do in them big games, and do you target your best players? If I don't see that, I ain't got no faith in it. It is the same on offense. But that don't mean we can't win. We just got to get lucky, and the defense going to have to carry us, and that's just been straight up. That's my final word.
Man, brilliant word, man. I think all three of us outside of OC is on the defensive side of the coin. And I believe defense win championships. And as negative as we can think of this offseason and heading into the 2022 season, is defense. That's one area that I can tell you I've seen many and lot of those terrible teams on offense win a Super Bowl. And we're not terrible on offense. So I think that what Michael Parsons said, that Dan Quinn brings the juice, I believe it. So I think that this team on the defensive side is going to draft even better than what they did last season. It'll be hard to trump Michael Parsons. But when I say this, I think that they're going to finally put some pieces that can complement Parsons and Diggs, and his defense is going to shut things down, and the offense is still going to be its offensive self. It's going to get those good generations of number one in total yards and points. I think that we will still have that firepower, and whatever they do with Amari Cooper, if they save the $16 million by cutting him and picking up one or two pieces to help out, I'm all down for it. At the end of the day, I'm still bleeding silver and blue, although I hate the philosophy of sullying and denigrating the player throughout the media and things like the Cowboys been doing for the last 10 to 15 years with this strategy. But I'm still bleed silver and blue, and I still think that this team can do wonders. And I can't wait for this offseason to be finished. But we're going to have our eyes and focus in on the combine this weekend. So let's go. Let's be positive, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. That's my time.
Let's get it.
Final word, baby.
Yep, that was the final word, man. Man, I'm telling you, man. I swear, man. We took a week off. It felt like a month. I'm dead serious. So, I mean, I get energized when I get with my guys, bro. Like, real talk. And listen, that wasn't even the right button. It's the right button right here. No, this it.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we still live.
I ended it on my end, though.
But, yeah, anyway. Yeah, that was the final word, man.
But just gonna jump back, man. I just feel I hate the fact that the Cowboys handle things the way they handle things, whatever. Yeah. But shit, man, we gonna get back, man.
Yeah, we gonna get back. I think you're right too, Big. I mean, not Big Law. We all sick about the amount of talent that got wasted.
Right.
We sick, and it's worse that you seeing the same stuff in the offseason. Like, I would want to see humility, right? After the 49ers bust you in your face, I would want to see you like what Big's saying, like, let's talk. Right. And so it's even upsetting to where you seeing the same old tactics, even though you got slapped. It's like, how you gonna talk and act big and bold when you just got hit in the mouth, you know? So, but I'm with you though, man. I think we go, lean on Will McClay. We gonna love this offseason. I think they're gonna do a great job as usual. And then we go slowly start digesting that Kool-Aid.
I'm just gonna have the next episode I'm just gonna bring me a Kool-Aid picture and I'm like, man, I'm pouring the water now. I'm putting the package in there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Putting the package in there. Oh, I forgot how to make Kool-Aid. Do you put the sugar in there first? No, you put the package in there first, right?
I put the package in there first, man. First I
package first.
Yep.
Right. So it'll be a slow process. Yes. I'm gonna have the jug and I'm gonna put the package in there.
Yep.
Watch. I'll make it a scene. Watch.
Yeah, man. So I just cut the